Yeah, we'll just take a moment and settle in. Welcome ourselves. Welcome our whole being, our pure being here to this moment. You know, this is a moment beyond time. We seem to gather here on a specific time, but that's really not so. Time is a trick. Yeah, we're gathered here not because of a time on a day, but because of the power of the mind. Power of the mind willed it so. The power of the mind willed us to come together right now. That's the only reason we are here right now. There is a line in the Course that states, it's only the awareness of the body that makes love seem limited. It's only the awareness of the body that makes love seem limited. And in that statement there, we can see an invitation to go beyond the body, to go beyond the awareness of the body. This is entirely possible. This is an experience, so we can allow some time right now to invite the experience of being beyond the body. Maybe it helps to take a breath, to feel yourself relax, to feel your mind relax, to feel your heart relax. To feel your whole being go within. In a relaxed alertness, openness, and inner listening. And let our thoughts just rest. Let your thoughts go to rest. And you can just keep breathing. Keep allowing this relaxed feeling. You can feel your mind far beyond the body. And if you notice, you start to think about something in form again, the past, the future. Take another breath and let it go. So when you limit yourself to the body's tiny senses, you will not see the grandeur that surrounds you. We can allow ourselves to go beyond. the senses of the body. We're not here to rely on what the senses report. But on something much, much greater. Much more still and present. So we can remove all limits on love. Any reliance on the body can be let go. The senses can be judged as neutral. The body is a tiny fence around a little part of a glorious and complete idea. It's made a fence around a very small segment of heaven. Who you are is so much more. In this chapter called The Little Garden, Jesus explains this experience of being a body as if it is like a little speck of dust that bids you fight against the whole universe. And he says, this fragment of your mind is such a tiny part of it that could you but appreciate the whole, you would see instantly that it is like the smallest sunbeam to the sun, or like the faintest ripple on the surface of the ocean. The body is like a little speck of dust, such a tiny part of your mind that if you could appreciate the whole, you would see that this little part is like the smallest sunbeam compared to the sun, or like the faintest little ripple on the surface of the ocean. But in its amazing arrogance, this tiny sunbeam has decided it is the sun. This almost imperceptible ripple hails itself as the ocean. Think how alone and frightened is this little thought. This tiny little illusion holding itself apart against the universe. You can even see if you can feel this in your mind. It's awareness of a limited self, of a separate self that is like a little ruler, like a little controller or a king. But in this view, the sun becomes the sunbeam's enemy that would devour it And the ocean terrifies the little ripple and wants to swallow it. So the whole becomes a threat when we identify as this little part, this little speck of dust. So let's really hand this over, this little part, this little speck of dust, this feeling of I, this feeling of being in control. Because neither the sun nor the ocean is even aware of this little strange and meaningless activity. They merely continue, unaware that they are feared and hated by a tiny segment of themselves. The sun continues to shine, completely unaware that it is hated by a tiny segment of itself. But even that segment is not lost to them, for it could not survive apart from them. So all power is of God. So even the power to do anything in this world, we receive from God. We received all power from God. And then we thought we could use it on our own and defend a very, very small self. But why? Why all this fight? Why all this control and defense? If the whole, our source, God, is not even aware of this tiny little segment that is fighting, thinks it is the ruler. This is why we want to surrender. Yeah, without the sunbeam would be gone. The ripple without the ocean is inconceivable, of course. So why is the ripple threatened by the ocean? Why is the sunbeam threatened by the sun? When it is completely dependent, it's even one with the sun and the ocean. Such is the strange position in which those in a world inhabited by bodies seem to be. Each body seems to house a separate mind, a disconnected thought, living alone and in no way joined to the thought by which it was created. Each tiny fragment seems to be self-contained, needing another for some things, but by no means totally dependent on its one creator for everything. needing the whole to give it any meaning, for by itself it does not mean anything. Nor has it any life apart and by itself. It makes it so clear when we think of it this way. It's impossible to be ruled by an idea of separation from the rest. It's impossible. But I think this is why there seems to be mental illness, depression, fear in any form, confusion. It's because of this belief that this separation is possible. So it's the belief that separation is possible that is the problem. That started the whole experience of separation. So any kind of experience of separate life is a dream. It isn't real. So even in this place of believing in separation, we are just so loved. So beautiful. Yeah, I think we're ready to go beyond a little fenced off idea. So I'm reading from The Little Garden. Maybe you have understood that by now. And he's saying here, be sure of this. Love has entered your special relationship and entered fully at your weak request. Be sure of this. Be sure the love has entered. And you can apply this whether you think you're in a special relationship or not, because you are. When there is specialness in the mind, there is special relationship. You don't recognize that love has come because you have not yet let go of all the barriers you hold against your brother. So only by letting go of barriers against our brother will we know that love has come. Only by letting go of barriers against our brother or sister will we know that love has come. That's good to know. We can focus on letting go of barriers. Because you and he will not be able to give love welcome separately. If you're disconnected, you will not be able to give love welcome. Only when you connect, when you join. Like joining here, for example, in this experience we share. This is a way of giving love welcome. You could no more know God alone than he knows you without your brother. You could no more know God alone than he could know you without your brother. He's so clear and so direct about specialness. Because this love cannot know us without our brother. So it's nice, because I think none of us have really felt sufficient anyway on our own. It's good that we were not right about it. Good one, Peter. Yeah, if you read this chapter on your own later, it's chapter 18, part 8, 18:8. Yeah, you could open up for sharing if you feel something strongly that you want to dive into.
I really want to dive into this because it was so beautiful what you read. I just want to expose that I'm still tricked by the ego into specialness. I don't fully understand how it manages to trick me not to join. I don't know. I had a good day and I was feeling excited and happy, and my mind's opening to the metaphysics, watching something on TV about time travel. And the ego was like, yeah, that's enough. Let's continue watching the telly. You don't need to join. And I believed it. And I was watching the telly, having no intention to join. And then I heard the word love. I was like, the switch went on. Love, Awaken to Love, Jenny Barret, the meeting. Immediately, it was like sleepwalking. I started, the lab. I got the laptop and joined. It's good to see that love is becoming a switch on. But I'm disturbed how the ego tricks me into not joining and the continue the special relationship with God without my brother. It's like joining, connecting, communicating, calling people up, just saying hello even still feels like this resistance.
Yeah.
I just want to expose that really. It's
Good.
that I still expose the ego as ingenious, but there we are.
Yeah, that's good. I feel really good. You're exposing it and you're laughing at it. That's
I
the
still
way.
get tricked though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the ego's job. It wants to shut communication off.
Yeah.
And joining is communication. It's communion. And the ego just always wants to shut it off. So that's the resistance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's good to be aware of that, because then we can say, no, I don't want to follow resistance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's funny because we mentioned your name today. We feel guided to stay linked up with you, and here you are. So.
Great. It's good to know we're here in Holy Spirit, regardless of the resistance. It's really comforting to know we both heal in the same voice. Yeah. It's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else?
I wanted to say how beautiful it is to join with you both. And it seems like I've been circling this group for a while. And today I was in the area, because we're in Mexico, and Anne and I have become become good mighties. Yeah, I love, everybody seems to be always in the same place. It's always the same, the same challenge to just really pay attention to the thoughts and the mind. For me, I everybody here in Mexico seems to be deep into the mind training now. Just absolutely fed up with anything the ego has to offer. Just, yeah, you can only do, you can only live like that. There's a limit to that kind of pain. It is what it's that limit. And yeah, I think it was 10 years ago. Well, let's see, 10 years ago, I came to your retreat in Malaga. That was like the beginning of, I remember I listened to David Hoffmeister. I found him. I found Disappearance of the Universe, like so many people. Then I found Course in Miracles, and then I found David, and then I found all of you. And I was completely 24/7. I remember I was renting a room, and I had this huge TV in my room, and I had David and all of you on all the time. I was just, oh my God, here's the answer to a prayer. God doesn't know anything about this world. It was like, oh my God, because it was impossible to fit him in here. It was impossible. Yeah, so I was just completely absorbed in the teachings. And I said, the next time that their Living Miracles is having a retreat, I'm going. And I came from California to Malaga, Spain by myself. I didn't know what I was doing. It was complete God. Got to spend 10 days with you guys. It was so beautiful. And here we are now, joined again, deeper into the teachings. And I've been so fortunate to spend time with Anne. And just, they're dark days, not dark days, dark moments. It's just like, how do I feel really is what I pay attention to. How do I feel? And is it complicated? If it's complicated, it's the ego. The ego wants complexity. The ego wants me to struggle and have strife and get all tied in knots, and so I have a great support system here. And I don't know, I'm just feeling really joy to be with you and to be with Anne.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
Just to know the truth, the absolute truth. The Course in Miracles isn't a summer read. I mean, and people, it's funny because people say, "Oh yeah, I read that." Yeah, okay.
I took that course.
Yeah, I read that. I think it's probably the most profound book or piece of material on the planet today, and that we, for whatever reason, it's our calling. It's the highest calling, and we're here to share in that. So yeah. I'm grateful. I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be on the path with you.
I'm sure I'll see you again.
Yeah, come on over sometime.
It really doesn't matter. I mean, minds join, not bodies anyways.
That's it.
Minds are joined.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely joined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many blessings your way. So loving to connect. To let the barriers just fall.
At the moment, it's pretty quiet. So it's like we've gone through the big turbulent storm energy. Now it's just very still.
Yeah. It was rather stormy thoughts. The biggest storm we had here so far. If somebody is sitting with stormy thoughts or something you'd like to get clear on, you don't have to hold back here. You don't have to be perfect. And as I say that, I just feel the perfection of God, of Spirit. Perfection heals us. Perfection is already. So we don't have to try to be perfect. Perfection already is. And it pulls us in. Hopeless. And
Yeah, it just feels very good to join. Like I feel like this energy when we just get together. But I take it is a decision in mind to join. I don't know, like to feel that, to allow that joining.
Yeah.
Or,
that's it.
yeah. And and then in the course where it says like it's not, there's something that you dread. You don't dread death, but you dread present joining. Or
Yeah.
is this sort of what Jesus is referring to, like getting together with your brothers?
Yeah. Often getting
Yes.
together,
Uh,
opening to this deeper connection. Yeah.
because I can feel this energy, but I can't. It's not really specific. It's not form.
Yeah. It's joining.
It's joining.
Mm.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I can feel there's a part that is frightened. But I feel like there's a greater part that welcomes it.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel a lot more fulfilling than the average, like when I meet someone just for, I don't know, like, I mean, can I always have this type of joining? Or because in some meetings it doesn't feel like it's there, but is it because I made the decision in my mind to not join in that way? Or,
Yeah. You can aspire for this joining
Okay.
all of us. And I mean, Jesus does encourage us to practice. He's saying every encounter is a holy encounter. Remember, he's saying, remember that every encounter is a holy encounter. So he's really encouraging us to show up fully and really remove our barriers, our conclusions, our interpretations, defenses, so that we can experience the holiness in the meeting.
Yeah, because I do feel like where I felt this before is where the intent was there join like that. There was like his intent or purpose to join.
It's powerful. And we often put so much outside of ourselves, like if we feel good or bad, both, there is often an outer explanation, but it's not true. It's the thoughts. It's our own thoughts, our own intentions that does it.
I think this is what you told me 8 years ago. We were driving in the car, and I said those mountains look beautiful. I think you said that is because you're in your right mind. So you brought it back to my thoughts. It's not out there. It's your mind that's causative.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maria.
It's lovely to be here. So I just feel called. And nothing else will do. And there's still strange things that I'm getting into with people. So I'm investigating it. Like and it's a lot of childhood stuff. And so I'm trying to look at it symbolically, like what is it representing? And healing that. And to some extent, I don't really know what's going on. I feel perhaps I'm learning to be authentic and to have to say some authentic no's to people. That seems to be the pattern. Life keeps giving me that opportunity because people are seemingly behaving in ways that are sort of power games. It's power games, but obviously that's something to look at within myself. To look at what is it evoking in me, and what needs healing, and also I just feel life, the old life is just falling away. I'm putting a lot of my things on eBay and selling them. It just feels to the old life, even very sort of symbolically in material things, has to go. A lot of relationships have gone. And sometimes I feel quite a lot of sorrow. But because, well, for one thing, my family are atheists, and they're really angry that there's just a lot of anger that comes at me. It's like I've left, well, I mean, a long time ago, I left. Well, I was never in that, to be honest. I always knew there was, I always had a sense of always sense of angels and everything. So I pretended to go along with it I hid what I knew. And I still hide it, to be honest. I never speak of this, never, because it's to anyone actually, but somehow they feel I've left, or I have left, really, because
It's okay to not be in their club.
Oh, yeah. I guess to be honest, I've been holding on because I always wanted a family. I never had felt I had a family ever, actually. It's quite abusive, but there's still that child that wants, the longing's always been for God, but there's a confusion about, well, it would be so nice to have a family, but it wasn't meant to be. And it's just really obvious now. Does any of that make sense? I feel like I've just rambled a bit.
We
Makes
just,
very much sense.
yeah, we just had a sweet gathering last night, and Crowley said to us, now I've found my family. It was just really sweet.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's how I feel. I do, like, I just feel so much love in the presence of all of you, so much love. And I always do, like, instantly, even if I'm a little bit shaky, I just instantly, it's there. And I don't think I want to take up too much more time. Leave it with someone else.
Say welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Just hearing you, Marie, about struggling with sharing about these teachings or things, or around religious matters or God. I know I hesitate to share sometimes with people that in general. I mean, not in groups like this, but with other people that I meet. But I had last week. I had this guided experience, little guided experience that was very profound. For me, it was. I don't need to share the details, but I was guided and I decided to share it with people that I don't normally share things like this with. And after that, I had to meet my fear of like thinking that thinking that I'm crazy. I think they will think that I'm crazy. This is what I've been dealing with. But I've done that consciously because I think it's. I think I was actually guided to share this little what happened with me. Maybe because it would help someone. I don't know. It would help me anyway. But I had to also learn that if I give something like that, I should not expect something back. Because I felt also like I wanted some reaction, I wanted to discuss it or something, but it was like more quiet. So I was even more nervous because no one said anything. So, okay, that's what I'm dealing with right now. Trying to just, this is me, I'm showing up. If I'm guided to say something, I will do that. And then I have to deal with my own crazy mind afterwards.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Just put it out put whatever spirit wants you to say, and then let go of everything after that, whether you get reaction or not, or I think that's what we learn more and more when we're guided, that give this responsibility to spirit. If spirit wants to say something, okay, it's in spirit's hands, even whether people like it or not, But to not take it as a personal anything, to not take it personally. We're so used to that, we want recognition, or we want to feel seen or heard, or not judged.
But you really want to take it not personally at all. If you were working as like in a courier service, and you had an envelope, and you deliver an envelope to someone, and they open the envelope and they don't like what's in the envelope, they might be so upset they yell at you, but you don't have anything to do with it. You're just a messenger, right? You just brought them what you were given, so you don't have to take it personally at all. You don't have to take it on.
Yeah, I would think about that. That's a great way of looking at it. A courier service. That's fun. We'll have fun with it.
Their only responsibility is to deliver what you're asking.
Thank you.
It can really be like that. Spirit can ask us to say something to somebody that they don't like to hear. And sometimes it's things they like to hear, but to not have investment in the outcome. Just to be so connected to spirit, or so trusting that we're fine either way. We're just so happy to be the messenger. We don't need to be liked. We're loved. We're so loved that we don't have to be liked.
I like that message.
Well, I do too. I did see your hand again, Matt, earlier. Did you have something more, or otherwise we might move on to just what we need to take care of here, the house.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I feel like when you say the storm, I saw a massive cloud in my mind, and now I want to run away and tell you, go and deal with your business. But very quickly, it's I saw this intense fear of taking action. Like it's like joining is taking action, joining Spain is taking action. And there's the belief underneath it that taking action gets me into trouble experientially, because that's, perceiving trauma as real. That's what it's experiential. Trauma is purely experiential. There's no thinking. So I adopted heavy duty thinking and conceptualizing and intellectualizing, and now it's metaphysics. It's when Anne said metaphysics on top of it, I just saw the massive clouds, and when you said the storm, I saw how dark that cloud of I need to think my way out of trouble. But so it's thinking, analysis. So I'm in total paralysis. It's analysis paralysis. I'm so terrified of taking action. And I think you know the history of that, you know, with that man that I was never gonna call, never gonna connect with, and it shows up all the time. Even joining is like taking actions. I'd rather think and analyze and understand metaphysics, and I find metaphysics intensely beautiful and heart-opening, but there's no people in understanding metaphysics. It's the people that I associate with getting into trouble. So thank you. That was a massive insight. Yeah, I'll need to work with the Holy Spirit on that. But the whole meeting was just leading up to that, really, for me to see. That's how I lived my life up till now, really. I'm still following the ego. The ego still tricks me because that black cloud has not been exposed so clearly as today. Whew. Yeah, feeling the heat. Now I have to take action, steps. Yeah, thank you. What a beautiful meeting. I mean, amazing. So many miracles for all of us. Yeah, very grateful.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just to say, you know, the Holy Spirit uses people to get you out of trouble. So just
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, it's the ego's terrified of reversing thinking to experiencing love. It's the thinking was a protection against experiencing love. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It feels nice as our last words tonight, you know, because all of us can take that in. The thinking can be a defense. The intellect can try to get in as a defensive kind of way of not experiencing, not allowing. So we can just take that in and just be very, very allowing. And when we're allowing, we're going to be very expansive too. So that feels good to move into our next moment with that feeling.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much love.
From now until forever.
Good night.
See you soon.